How you doing, Duff here? Pick him in frame. I am on our new Segway MiniBot Pro. We just got it on Amazon during Prime Day. Had a nice special. Not cheap, but it still is a good deal for what you get. This is an evolution of the hoverboard that was super popular last year. You know, they look very similar to this, except for this knee bar. They were all the rage. They ranged in price from $200 up to, I don't know, $1,000. It was crazy. But they got a bad reputation for a couple things, like catching on fire. Evidently, if you left the charger in those too long, you could damage the batteries, and it could potentially cause a fire, which isn't a good thing. They were kind of tough to control. The way that you went forward and backwards and left and right was all from foot manipulation. With this Segway MiniPro, you go front and back with the foot pressure. You know, you go forward and backwards by changing your weight forwards and backwards, but left and right is controlled by this knee bar. Basically, you just lean into it, and that is how you go left and right. And for me, it seems like it's a much better way to control this. You know, ignore the beeping. That beeping happens if you back up too quickly, unless I would update the firmware on this. This is still the 1.28 firmware. The current, the most recent is 1.31. I haven't done it yet, but I will. So anyways, yeah, some of the specs on this thing: it supports riders up to 220 pounds, which is nice. Has a top speed of between 10 and 11 miles an hour after you go through the training mode, which I'll talk about more later. Has a range of between 14 and 15 miles, which again is quite impressive. I don't know if you can see on the front there's a battery indicator, which is nice. So you have a real-time feedback of how much juice you have, which those old hoverboards did not have. And it also has Bluetooth that integrates with an app on the phone, which is cool. Like it'll give you real-time information about your speed that you're going, as well as your total distance covered, how long it's been on your current session, all kinds of stuff like that, which is kind of cool. You can just tell, if you look at some other reviews of this thing, it's kind of like, it's the hoverboard idea done right. It's just a much higher quality build, higher quality motor, higher quality tires. Like these tires are pneumatic tires, air-filled rubber tires, so it handles bumps in the road much better than a old style hoverboard does. Here comes Cindy. Said I'm taping. What are you doing? I'm taping.
I'm bringing in eggs.
Segway stuff.
I got eggs.
I'm gonna keep taping.
Okay, let's keep doing what I'm doing.
One of the other nice features of this is, with the old hoverboards, if you fell off for some reason, typically they were going to roll. And when they roll, they run into things, they get scratched, they get damaged. With this one, if you fall off of it, I'm just going to step off of it. It's self-balancing. It will stay upright, which is pretty cool. And building off of that on the app, now, there might be better uses for this in the future, but the app actually has a remote control mode where you can drive it with that. There might be other uses for this in the future. Right now, it's just kind of a cool thing to make people say, hey, that's cool. Like, I thought it would be cool if there would be some way to make it like just go into a follow mode. You know, where it follows. And you have to be conservative with it. Be cool if it went into a follow mode where it would just follow you, but it does not do that. You have to just kind of be careful. In addition, you might see that it also has headlights in the front, which work quite well. Last night when Cindy and I went out, the headlights worked quite well. It was pitch dark. And in the back, you also have tail lights. It's because I had remote control mode on. Anyways, you have tail lights, which you can see here, which do different things. Like when you're braking, they go red. If you're leaning to one side, that side will light up. And if you're just going straight, they can be in any kind of color that you want. I've made these a purplish color. You can change the way they flash or glow. It's totally configurable. Again, just kind of a neato thing, not a necessary thing, but just another one of the cool things this thing does. I'm not the best guy with balance, but as you can tell, I'm pretty comfortable in this already. And Cindy's even better at it than I am. And I'm not a short guy, I'm like 6'3". And still able to control this pretty well. It's very quiet. I assume they're brushless motors, but they're super, super quiet. Let's see, what else? Exactly, too. The batteries that are in here come with a charger underneath the port in the front. Like has like a rubber cover over it. You can fully charge this thing from empty in about 4 hours, which isn't too bad. And with a 15-mile Tukey, 15-mile capability, that probably translates into a couple hours of runtime, which would be pretty impressive. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Again, with the old style hoverboards, you had people that would buy it, charge up, and just hop on it, and really not look at the instructions, not look up how to safely ride it. With the Segway, they kind of force you to go through an orientation period via the app. Basically, once you configure the app to talk to your board, it will limit your speed to, I think, somewhere around between 4 and 5 miles an hour. That's the top speed that you can go until you've ridden the board for 0.6 miles, I believe it is. And then once you do that, you have the option to remove the speed limiter, which lets you go between 10 and 11 miles an hour. So I think it's kind of cool that it makes you go through that short but still valuable orientation period. One other nice thing, if for some reason you're in an area where you can't ride the board, you can just pull up this handle and I just turned it off, you can just kind of tow it like a piece of luggage almost. So like if you're in an area where you can't ride the board, you can just tow's easy, it's not a problem. And when you're ready to ride, just turn it back on. It'll find its balance point. Step on. And you're ready to go. So anyways, that's just my quick review of the board. Cindy and I are going to be doing some more videos on these, taking it outside so you can see some more real world interaction. But I'll tell you, both of us so far are very, very impressed.
Love
Yeah, Cindy loves it, I love it. And if they weren't so expensive, we probably had 2 of them already, so. But who knows what the future holds. So that's it, yeah. That's my initial Segway MiniPro review. Till next time, Duffman out.